Janie,
Just Amari,
and Nisha.
Imani.
Evolving.
Today we're going to be paying homage to Nipsey Hussle, who passed March 31st. And just a quick little bio on Nipsey Hussle. He was born in Los Angeles, California, and he got his stage name from this comedian actually named Nipsey Hussle, who was a comedian, poet, and dancer. Nipsey Hussle was also known as a businessman, humanitarian, philanthropist, and a pillar in the community.
Yeah. So as my sister girl mentioned, we just wanted to go in and address who he was and why is this such an important topic that we felt like we needed to address. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right into it. So
Nipsey Hussle, I guess my first time hearing his name, and it was in 2012. I was just going to a Childish Gambino concert, and he was supposed to open up, like when Gambino first came out, but that never happened. And I did hear about his name, that he had a clothing line, but I didn't know much else about him, like what he was doing for the community and stuff, and to know that is really dope.
yeah.
I didn't know much about it until like he actually died, because I didn't know like he was so active in the community. I just knew, I got a lot of people from California. I just knew they all loved him, so I just thought it was a Cali thing, but I didn't know he was actually putting down a bunch of things,
Yeah.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Same, like I knew of him, but when I started dating my boyfriend, that's when I really got up on what he was doing and who he was. Y'all know when y'all get y'all boyfriend, y'all start liking their music and stuff. So my boyfriend, he's a fan, and he was just teaching me about like the different things, how he was a revolutionary and different things that he was creating opportunities for his community. And I always respect somebody that's creating opportunities. So that's when I kind of, I wouldn't say I was a fan, but I just admired his work, and I appreciated his last album because the knowledge he was dropping with the great content of the music. So that's about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so why do you think he's so influential? I feel like his death was a great impact on our community. And why do you guys feel like that?
Well, I feel like he was very inspiring to me, because just to see the move that he left after that shows what you really put on earth, Many people don't respect you until you later on die or pass on, and they start recognizing all the work you really was doing. And I feel like that was his case, because I just found out that he's about to get the name of Crenshaw and Slauson, and they about to make it the Nipsey Hussle intersection. And I'm like, that's amazing. Because he's doing some things that was like on an MLK level,
Yeah.
Just for California, but it's for a whole nation, because not only California is grieving, the world is grieving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and my take on it, I feel like he impacted our community and actually the world. His roots are from Eritrea, which is a country in Africa, and I feel like he impacted all of us. People as a whole, and two, it shows where he came from. So he's from Crenshaw, and he was in the streets, and he's the gangbang, but he didn't let his story end there. He ended it on a positive note. He was a light spreader, and I think he gave hope to the community. Like, you don't have to be a basketball player, and hey, if you are a rapper, be a businessman. You want to own the store, for his clothing, the Marathon clothing store. Not only does he own the storefront, he owns the strip mall. And I think that's amazing. So he shows you can be a businessman, you can know about the streets, but you can also be book smart. He was very into health and wealth with Dr. Sebi and all the things he learned from his holistic healings and remedies and things like that. So I think he left a positive impact. How he started is not how he ended. It was very beautiful, and I think a lot of us were touched by that, and his legacy will definitely live on.
Yeah, I agree. And just the fact that really showing you showing young fellas that are looking up to this man that you can have ownership, and really just showing other rappers that you don't have to sell your soul in order to be, you know, influential. You don't have to not turn your back, or you don't have to turn your back on your community in order to elevate it. Like, you can bring your community or whoever needs to come with you, because with the ownership, by him not only owning his clothing line in the storefront, but he also owns all the masters to his latest album. And I feel like that's extremely impactful, because a lot of these, we're just gonna call it for what it is, the white people at the top, the business owners and the people that own these record labels, they want you to be their puppet and tell you how to act, how to dress, how to talk, to deliver a message to the masses. And most of the time that message to the masses is not influential and to our best benefit. And so the fact that he showed you how to do it and go about his business, that's his blueprint. And the title of his last album was Victory Lap. And I feel like this year that he created that was his Victory Lap, where he's showing you how it's done. And in one of the songs, I had to write it down because I didn't want to get it mixed up, but in one of the songs, Loaded Bases, get to speak, it's like a coded language reminding niggas of their stolen greatness. And that's something that really touched me, because it's just like, from that line I took that once you find out who you are and you're comfortable in your truth and your purpose, you're able to shine your light no matter what. And a lot of us have greatness within us, but we abandon it trying to be followers. But he tapped into his own greatness, and he spreaded a message and reminded us of our greatness. And because his African roots, because his dad is he's a first generation, you know, from the continent, he was able to bring that connection that he has with his home. And I feel like that's why a lot of us are lost, because we don't know where we come from. We don't know our ancestors. We don't know our culture. They took our language, they took our rituals, they took our traditions. So we're just a lost people. And I feel like Nipsey Hussle was the perfect example of not just being an African, but African American, but African in America, and also showing us the importance of recognizing who you are, so what you can give back, and taking ownership of it, and just taking ownership of what you put out and what you produce.
Right. And I also I meant to mention this earlier. Also, another accomplishment of his is something called Vector 90.
Oh, that sounds good.
So sorry.
Yeah.
But no, it's pretty much, it's just like a co-working space for entrepreneurs in the making who are unrepresented. Because a lot of us have ideas, but we don't have the resources, and that's heartbreaking, you know. So I think it's beautiful that he did it in his own hood, and the resources right there. So it's at least a starting point for you to jump off your business, to jump off your channel, whatever you want to do. And I think that he definitely blessed a lot of people in that way. And also, as far as the Dr. Sebi documentary, Nipsey Hussle was in the making of doing a documentary on Dr. Sebi. He is a black holistic doctor. He was known to help he was known to help a lot of people, such as Left Eye. He even won a case, it was in New York, where he was putting out ads on how to cure yourself from certain diseases holistically, which means naturally. And the state tried to come for him for spreading that good knowledge. So he beat his own case, guys, by curing, just as proof and evidence, he cured 70 people on his own.
AIDS.
Yeah, AIDS. I think it was
diabetes.
Different things.
A bunch of different things that they call uncurable. A lot of people don't know about this information because they make money off of our lack of knowledge.
Yeah, medical field. Yeah, so that's just something I want to touch on as well. So he was also about his community, but another part of helping our people that I think too is not just mentally and like spiritually, but also knowing that our health is wealth, and that's how we have a long life. So.
And by him being what you call a real nigga or a hood nigga, the fact that he's talking, he recognized that he was a leader, and he's recognized that if he stopped doing something, that the masses will stop doing it as well. So the fact that he was able to perpetuate that and share that, it's just dope. It's just real dopeness. It's
Absolutely.
like Tupac of our time.
That's what I was saying. It's like this is what it must have felt like with Tupac.
Yeah.
What I think we should learn from his death is to take pride in who you are and get out there and just stand up for what you believe in. Even if it look like you the fool or you a hypocrite because he is a gangster, but at the end of the day, he still have knowledge within himself. He come from the lifestyle, you know, we from LA. When you from LA, you live a hard life. So we try to, like, you know, I feel like gangs in LA is like what you call family when you don't have it. So they tend to, you know, cling on to different gangs and stuff. So I just feel like he ain't no hypocrite. You know, a lot of people want to say, like, how can we praise him and all this stuff? But I feel like he was bold enough to get out there and tell the truth of what the other ones didn't want to tell, you know? When it was coming from, like, starting your own business, getting out there speaking on things they say he should have never been speaking on, like the documentary. But instead of everybody trying to figure out who killed Nipsey or how did this all happen, I feel like we need to just get in there and figure out the message of what he did, because he didn't care about losing a friend, losing family, losing money, or even losing his life, because he knew what he was doing when he did everything that he did, you know? So I feel like he just taught us as a community to be bold and stand up for what you believe in, whether it costs you everything. That's what you was here for, because he's helping the next generation. His name is going to be lived on forever and ever, just like Tupac's name is. And like, we still trying to figure out who killed Tupac. That's not the thing. He came here to leave us something, and that's leaving us build your own businesses, help your brothers out, you know, give good deeds. And we don't like to give good deeds, you know, because we feel like, oh, people trying to take advantage of me. No, he wasn't worrying about that. He was taking out of his pocket to feed the ones on the street. He was giving homeless people jobs. Like, you have to really look at what he did and just really understand that he's a man that we all should strive to be, and that's our self, and that's our good self, you know?
Yeah, I like that a lot. For you?
For me, I feel like, of course, I echo everything that you were saying. I just feel like what Nipsey Hussle taught me and confirmed to me is just get in tune with myself, allowing myself and all my blessings and all my greatness and my legacy will continue to leave its mark on its own. The only work I have to do is within. And the reason why I say this is because I've been watching a lot of his interviews, just going back and just taking in the knowledge that he left behind. And I know in one of the videos he was breaking down the psyche of gang members. And he was saying, like, you know, when you're a gang member, you drive right past the dude that looks like a square. You drive right past the dude that's not of your race, and then you shoot the dude that looks like you, talks like you, and walk like you. That's the ultimate self-hate. And for,
you know, off of these gangs and fighting one another, because that was the plan that they wanted to throw out there for us to take us out. We taking our own selves out. So he was a gang member, and he needed to stand in his place and be who he was and live that lifestyle so he could teach someone. I can't teach no gang member that. What can I teach him? I don't live that life. I don't live that hard lifestyle, you know? So that's all I was saying.
But just I like what you were saying. That's true, because we can't speak to them. We don't talk the same language,
yeah.
But he could talk the same language as them. And I also want to, you mentioned that I think something else I learned from him is just standing up for my people, even though this is something I was already trying to practice. But we're so lost, we're so brainwashed. Like, we already have so many enemies, and by the government being number one, like, we have to recognize that this is what they want. They want us to destroy one another. They want us to and that's why in every aspect they come to infiltrate the way we eat, the way I'm getting
a lot to break us down.
I'm getting emotional because it's just a lot. They come and try to infiltrate, and it's proven facts. Like COINTELPRO, a lot of you guys on internet all day long, but you guys don't know what COINTELPRO is. And this is a proven fact of evidence where the government, the FBI,
end of the day, if all of us become leaders and all stand up and rise and say what we stand for and what we believe in and who we are, even though that it has been stripped from us, you have to know deep down inside that we're great. If I have to kill a man, and it's only a few of us that's out here really doing the thing, if I have to kill every last one of them to stop who y'all are, that lets us know that we have to be great.
Yeah.
How can you not be great?
And I was gonna touch on that too, kind of a combination of both what you guys were saying. When we, with the powers that be, don't want to happen is us to come together and unify. First of all, learn knowledge of self, where we come from, know that we are great, beautiful, wonderful, smart, innovative kings and queens. And then number two, like unify and then become greatness and have our own empire. They don't want that to happen. So there's like my sister is saying, like there's things in the way that they do purposely to get us distracted. Everything they do, yeah, it can get deep, but everything we'll do another part too.
Right, yeah,
but anyways, just gaining knowledge of self. Like we had this conversation in the chat the other day, like after his passing, like if you look at the black communities, majority of them, you can find liquor stores, you can find a smoke shop, you can find fast food chains, right?
Dispensaries.
Yeah. You can find dispensaries right here. I grew up on the west side of Las Vegas, but what you can find, we have a library, but we don't have a black-owned grocery store. We don't have no gyms.
Where's the healthy food? I want a healthy food, fast food restaurant.
They don't even put the
not getting it. And the reason they're doing that is because when we're full of weed, liquor, tobacco, junk food, and all this shit that makes us like not healthy, that not just affects our mind, that affects our body. So that leaves us what? Defenseless and weak. When in fact, when we come together, we gain knowledge of self, wealth, and health. We're actually the complete opposite.
Okay,
yeah. So we just want y'all to know that, understand that, because if you guys continue to get distracted and brainwashed by what they're putting out, you're being exactly what they want you to be.
The media is not for us.
Take a step back off the internet.
Right, because the internet ain't taught us nothing since the death. All it taught us is who killed Tupac and what.
But none of us coming together thinking of different methods, programs, resources that we can try to protect our black men, try to protect our community, try to defend our communities. It's not instilling that.
How to eat right.
How to eat right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you really a Nipsey Hussle fan or you was impacted by his death, you should take the time and really go back and listen to what he was saying so you can perpetuate that in the rest of your journey. You know, if you didn't know before, you didn't know, but now you know because we telling you, so you need to take the initiative to find out.
Right, because it was all in the plan, it was all in the purpose, because that's why we all sitting here talking about it, because he left something and it was for us to change something. You know? We have to change. We can't just keep talking about the same old things. We already had this happen before. They can't keep killing all our black men.
They can't. And we shouldn't even want them to. We should get tired of being in this position. Oh no, he was so great. He was doing so much for our community. But guess what? If I do something and she do something and she do something great for our community, that my legacy, your legacy, and your legacy all put together is a force to be reckoned. So just imagine if you take the time to do that with the brothers and sisters in your own community and uplift, build, create. That's all.
Yeah, and
that's all.
Yeah, he brought all of us together. It's just a beautiful thing to watch his interviews and see him home back in Eritrea. His father's from there. It's just beautiful. And I think, like you were saying earlier, unfortunately, we got taken away from our homeland, from the motherland. So we don't feel as connected. And then the system put us in certain situations to where we don't even feel connected or even know our worth.
And can I stop you right there?
I'm
sorry. No, but y'all had to rewind that back to what she said. They stripped you of your knowledge. They stripped you of your language. They stripped you of all of that. So you lost. If you don't know who you are, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be committed to lost.
Yeah. Whatever they put out there,
you're just gonna grasp onto. And it's just, I'm tired of it. That's why I made the change within me. And every time I speak, every time I utilize anything I have, I try to educate, uplift, and empower.
And everyone may not understand what knowing who we are, especially when we were stripped, you know? Everyone don't have the sense of that. So I just say, have that self-love within yourself and keep it pushing, because in the day, we can't be like, where do we start? You got to start where you at right now and loving yourself and loving who you are and the ones who are just like you. Because we not saying the government killed him. We're not saying it was our own kind. But it just needs to stop, you know?
Yeah, and also going back to the internet, it is a blessing and a curse. But the good thing about that is you can find a lot of resources. I know YouTube has tons and tons of documentaries. If you don't have computer access at home, there's a library, take it back old school, and really gain knowledge of yourself. And once you feel yourself and you read this and you watch documentaries, you hear and feel and see where we came from, and then you'll feel empowered. I think the big thing too is feeling empowered and feeling great. And then with that knowledge that you have, whatever you have, take that and spread it to your communities. Mentoring, serving. I tell the girls in group, it can be a whole nother subject, but it ties into self-esteem, and especially if I'm talking to a group of black girls, I have to break it down in some way so they can understand how great we are. So, yeah.
And not to sound corny, but it does start with love. It does, like you said, Nisha, it start with the love for yourself, because if you love yourself and you love yourself enough, you'll know yourself, and you wouldn't want to harm or be a detriment to the next person, because it's ultimately being a detriment to yourself. Right. So the person that killed Nipsey, he got to deal with that for the rest of his life, you know. So I just feel like all of us, and I feel like it all started from whatever, hate, lack of love, not knowing, everything we were saying. He's a product of everything that we said, and this is what was the result of that product. So this should be just this situation alone unpacks so much, where it should really spark the movement for us all to get on this bandwagon of knowing yourself and knowing where your roots are and where you come from and what you're gonna be about.
And I was also gonna say too, well, I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube and just on social media in general, but positive stuff. In LA, it was beautiful seeing the Bloods and the Crips come together. The Nation of Islam was there. It was beautiful, and just to think that can be our everyday. We can live and be in a wonderful environment, uplift another, support another every day, and that was just a beautiful thing to see, a beautiful representation.
Right. I would just hope that, you know, we would just learn to come together without all these deaths, you know, packing out a stadium for funerals, but we can't pack out a rally for people that's dying every day.